Are you looking for a podcast where you can hear from real people regarding their real dental drama? If so, then you've come to the right place. Join hosts Bethany Petty and Dr. Rena Kuba as we dive into the solutions we've created and the mistakes we've made while managing dental drama. Let's get started.
Hey, lady, how do you do?
Hey, I'm good. How about you?
Good. Good to be back in Dallas. I've been kind of on hiatus here for a little bit.
Yeah, you've been everywhere, man. You've been everywhere.
I wouldn't say everywhere. I've just been not here. So, first of all, I wanted to say you were updating me, and I feel like we need to say this because we don't like saying no.
Right.
But we're about to get to be. If anybody is interested in the crash course, like anytime soon, like please reach out.
Yeah.
Because dates are filling up for next year already.
Yeah.
And so if you're hemming and hawing, somebody's going to take your spot. We're going to have to say no, and we really don't like that, but we will not have the capacity. So if you're at all considering it, please reach out so we can have you on our radar and do what we can. But
yeah.
we already, like, you and I were trying to figure out when we're sending our kids to camp and trying to, like, I just don't want to be in a situation where we can't help somebody who wants the help. So please...
the sooner the better for that. And again, as a reminder, that consulting crash course is 2 full days with you and me and the team, and going through and just, it is super practical, jam-packed full of consulting.
And customized. So it's like basically like we would send you all these questionnaires and things that, what do you want to accomplish in these 2 days, to kind of put yourself on fast forward mode. If you're like, you know what, I'm still struggling with scheduling with my front desk team. Okay, then we're going to make sure that your crash course works with your specific front desk team.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that somebody said to me recently about, well, so-and-so on my team is going to be leaving because they go on maternity leave, or so-and-so's leaving to go move to Idaho. So, I don't want to spend all this money on, it wasn't on Crash Course, it was on Scheduling Institute type stuff. And I said, but if you're going to sit and wait for that, your team's always going to be fluctuating.
Yeah.
It's more about getting the systems in place. And once you've got the systems in place, it's almost like plug and play. Like, okay, Mary left, but Susie started. But we already have the system in place, and Susie needs to learn this system.
Yes.
But if you don't have a system, that's why you've got constant chaos. So it's about, or if you're like really like setting the culture and you've never sat through and done that right, all the things that can fall into place after as someone leaves or someone new starts. If you've got a well-established culture, it's easier to figure out whether that person fits into the culture or not.
Yeah.
So if you've not established basic things, then that's why you're constantly in chaos. So bottom line, the crash course is to be specific to what you want out of your office and with the team members that you have.
Yeah.
And then as people come and go, at least you've got systems in place.
Absolutely. And we're just loving the outcomes. So y'all don't miss out on this. It really is. 2026 dates are almost gone, which is crazy, which is awesome. But yeah, move quickly.
Well, I'm just going to say, I'm not going to feel bad.
Yeah, no, they've been warned.
The early birds get the worm. And if you miss it, you got to wait till 27. I'm not going to feel bad about that.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. I like that.
Yeah. Okay, so topic for today. I always ask you, especially since I've been kind of MIA for a little bit here, what's going on in your world? And you said a listener wanted us to revisit culture. And I said, well, what does that mean? In what regard? There's so much we can talk about with culture. And so when I was asking you to give me the background, basically one of her assistants was going to radiology, a radiology type program or something. And so this person leaves, and then something happened in the radiology, like she failed a drug test and so wanted her job back. And this doc was like, I don't know if I bring you, but like, do I want you back if you've got a drug problem, and do I need that in my office? But she was a very well-liked employee and really good. And anyway, I guess y'all you said they did bring the person back in.
Yes, rehired.
And now Doc is saying something's off, and she can't tell. She's like, had a fine culture. People weren't happy when this person was leaving, but they were happy for her.
Yeah.
They advocated for bringing her back, so Doc brought her back. And she's like, now something's just off.
Yeah.
And so my question to you was, but from a culture standpoint, what should this doctor do? Like, does she need to go? And you were suggesting, like, maybe just let time settle and see. My question was, I guess somewhere in there you mentioned how this lady who got rehired wasn't, she was upset or disappointed that Doc didn't welcome her with open arms. Like, Doc was hesitant to hire her back.
Right.
And Doc put some stipulations, like, you're going to have to take these drug tests and whatever. And she didn't like said stipulations. And in my mind, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Right.
Like, the fact that she would even consider hiring you back, I think most of us would be like, I'm not dealing with this. This is too much to deal with. But because of pressure from other employees and all of that, here Doc is going, okay. And you mentioned how this employee is a sanguine.
Yeah.
And so for those of y'all who don't remember the personalities, do you want to go over it briefly here in just a sec? But
I think we'll revisit here in a second.
We've got some, even though it was like 3 years ago, those episodes are still super popular and super helpful and actually super relevant. Like, I even listened back not too long ago, and I was like, that's still super relevant and super helpful. Reminder for me, as we're navigating some of the things we're navigating with my stupid startup.
You're awesome, amazing startup. And stupid.
Sorry, excuse me. So, yes, it's just created drama that I should have known was going to be there, and I just, Anyway, so sanguine. And so when you mentioned she was sanguine, I was like, wait, isn't that one of them that affects the entire office? Mm-hmm. So the sanguine, if they're in a foul mood, the whole office is in a foul mood. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I bet you anything, it's her, because she's had her feelings hurt now because of said stipulations and whatever. Which, honey, you're living in your own little la-la land. You're lucky that this doc hired you back. But I'm telling you, my gut is she's the one who's creating this odd feel in the office. Mm-hmm. And so I think Doc wanted a podcast on culture. Yeah. And I think the way we're going to, the topic within the culture subtopic, the subtopic under the culture umbrella is personalities. Yeah. And specifically kind of focusing on you're kind of the expert on this, about saying, like, there are two main personality types that kind of affect the vibe of the office. So I guess let me let you take it away. Okay. And of course then come back. Every personality type, let me say, is vital in the office. Yes. Everyone. And everyone brings pros and cons. Mm-hmm. And so I think we're probably going to get into the pros and cons of these two stronger personalities. And then I'm sure you're going to leave us with some tips of what to do. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head when you were listening to me talk about the details of this scenario, because I do think a lot of this situation is personality based. So you mentioned the sanguine personality. Again, we're going to encourage you guys to go back and listen to I think it was 3 years ago or so. We'll put them in the show notes, the personality episodes. But there's two that are I always call them the rudders that steer the ship. And it's the sanguine personality type and the choleric. Sanguine, I call them the sparkly sanguines. They're sunshine, rainbows, unicorns, just super exuberant personality, fun, life of the party, talkative, easily liked. People just love the super sanguine. A little bit ADD. They can kind of be just bouncing all over the place, or even in conversation, they can almost come across sometimes, and hopefully my sanguines won't take this offensively, almost like a little bit airheady, because they'll be like on one train of thought and then be like, oh wait, and they'll bounce over and talk about something else. And so they're kind of funny in that way, that they're really entertaining to watch them talk. But endearing.
Yes.
Endearing. They can find a connection with almost anybody.
Or anything. My husband's a sanguine. I'm like, he talks to the wall, I think.
I was just about to say, how funny that your husband's a sanguine and you're a choleric. The two strong ones you're talking about. And typically those two personalities can get on each other's nerves.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
not like each other.
Oh, yeah.
Very much.
Yeah.
How funny. Okay.
Yeah, it's I've become a better person over these 23 years of being married to him, but not without pain. So anyway, and he would say the same.
I was about to ask, pain on whose end?
Both. Just want to kill each other. But I definitely think if she had she's got super strong sanguine personality. And if she was probably feeling disappointed about her radiology program not working out, kind of hitting a low. I always say with sanguines, they've got really high highs, and most of the time they're in the high category. But man, do they have some lows. When their lows hit, it's just like, Lord help everybody, because they can go from really happy and energetic and everything's perfect, everything is awesome, we'll go to Lego land here, everything is awesome, and then they hit a low, and it's like it's really hard for them to pull out of that low, because they're either hot or cold. They're never in the middle. They always either have a great day, and most of their days are great, but when they have a low day, it's a really low day. And so the sanguines are the rudder that steers the ship, because if you've got a super sanguine on your team, they bring the energy and the enthusiasm and the excitement, and they're, chatting it up with team members and making sure that everybody just feels awesome. They're the entertainment of the team. They make us laugh. But when they're not in happy land, when everything is not awesome in their world, it's very hard on the team, because what they're used to 85-90% of the time is that they bring the energy. And then when they're not that, it's almost like we're lost. Like, what do we do without that laughter?
Like a big cloud over the office. Like,
yes.
It's this depressed vibe of like, what is...
Yeah. And even if that person is like in a low and just kind of retreating, maybe they're not like moody, they're not outwardly moody, but they're just like in a quiet mode. It's such a dynamic shift in the office, because they've got a big sphere of influence, because they're loud and big, and you notice them in a room. And then when their presence isn't there, even if they're physically there, it's like we're awkward and we don't know how to function with this dominant personality ultimately. So I think you hit the nail on the head when we were talking about this particular situation with this lady, that her employee was probably in a low already because of the radiology program not working out. And then ultimately she comes back, but on terms that were not endearing. She's like, wait a second, my boss, I've worked with you. And
aren't they people pleasers, and they like
yes.
that? So now somebody's mad at me and I've got these stipulations. Like, that's not fun.
No.
That's not fun. That puts a lot of pressure on me, and I like to have fun.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't feel good, right? This employee is probably feeling like she let her boss down, she let her team down, she let herself down. Now, I've got these feelings about having these stipulations. Don't you just want me back because I am who I am? Don't you love me?
And what all I've done for you?
Yes. And so I think you're exactly right. When this listener reached out and explained the situation, it's like, okay, that makes sense that the culture feels a little bit off in the wake of what's happened with this sanguine team member, because she may be off. The team member that got brought back may just be off herself. And so now the team's kind of like, what's going on? What do we do with that? So I do want to mention, just because I think it's relevant here. So that's the sanguine influence, and obviously is directly related to this particular situation. But the other one is equally influential. Both of these are considered extroverted personality types, which means you know what you're getting with them. It's very easy to spot these two personalities because they're loud and outspoken, but in very different ways. So the sanguine is on one side of the spectrum, sparkly, fun, rainbow, sunshine, everybody loves me. The choleric is on the other end of the spectrum, very dynamic as well, but in a very direct, intense, we got stuff to get done people type personality. They're
no fun. No fun vibe.
No.
You're scary.
You're intimidating is the
Yes.
word that I always use. That they're very intimidating, intense. But both choleric and sanguine, they have this frenetic energy. Like they're just very energetic personality types. But the choleric is energetic in the way of getting things done. Their goal when they wake up every morning is, I've got 92 million things to do, and I would like to accomplish 92,000,001 things by the end of the day. And so they view people around them as either barriers to getting that done or support in getting that done. And when they feel like people keep getting in their way, they are belligerent and often angry and irritable, and they already have that natural intimidation factor, but now they're just ticked off all the time. And
my choleric mom was like, cranky pants, like, what's in your pant today? Like, can I throw a bucket of cold water on you? Can you cool off?
Take a step back, but they can't. Just like the sanguine has a hard time turning off their sanguine self, a choleric has a really hard time turning off that intensity and that drive to perform.
Am I wrong, or is it me? Am I the, clueless one? But I feel like they don't even know that they're that intense.
Oh, they have no clue.
So when you're like, dude, you need to take it down a notch, they're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Yes.
Or funny to me where I'm like, they'll be like, oh, well, so-and-so was attacking me. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you are a bulldog. You're attacking somebody every hour. And we're all like cowering in fear over in the corner here, like going to the sanguine to be like, and sanguine's like, it's okay, baby, it's okay. Keep going. You got this. We got this. That was she said. And then like when the cholerics are like, you're like, are you kidding me? Like you're scary.
Yes. They are unaware. They are unaware of how intense they are. Yes. I mean, they know themselves well enough to know that they have a drive to get things done, but they do not realize that they communicate with such harshness. Which is why I say all the time that my husband and I barely survived the first 7 years of our marriage. It was painful because he's like, praise me, love me, I'm awesome. Everybody around me says I'm awesome. And I'm like, you're terrible. We didn't get this done. Dang it, shut the shower door. How many times have we talked about this? And so you come home, you come away from your work where everybody puts you on this pedestal and thinks you're just God's gift to mankind. And you come home to a spouse that's like, you're awful. I can't stand you. And it's like, yeah, that's a challenging 7 years. So, but I didn't realize myself how direct I was being and how I have to add some fluff in. To almost everybody needs a little bit of fluff. But I was just like, hey, that's useless. Let's just get to the point. Let's talk data. And every personality type needs somebody that fluffs them up before that directness.
I think, y'all are probably like, I love you. I wouldn't have married you. Like, shut the hell up. Why are we wasting time? Let's get back to the topic at hand and let's move on. Like, we need a solution here. Love you, kisses, great. Do you need anything else? Okay, can we talk about this now? Right? And like for the rest of us, we're like, she wants to divorce me. She hates me. I suck.
The choleric's like, what do you mean? Where'd you come to that deduction? They're completely unaware. But they have a substantial impact on teams. Substantial. The sanguine, of course, can sway the culture because of their fun and vibrant personality and the energy and just vibrancy that they bring. And the choleric can bring this intensity that is definitely necessary on teams. We have to, as much as we want to go to work and have fun and sing Kumbaya and just enjoy each other, we also have a job to get done. And that job is very important. And so the choleric knows that. And especially if they're the only choleric on the team, they can almost feel like, those super strong people that they'll like take these challenges of like pulling a bus. They'll like put these straps on and it's all strapped to this bus and they're like trying to make it like 10 feet, pulling this bus. That's a choleric. Every day he or she's like, God, I gotta drag this.
Despite you idiots, I will get us there. You fools. You're lucky you have me here.
Yes.
God only bless what y'all would be doing.
Yes. And then when they cross the line, they firmly believe that it was single-handedly. Like we wouldn't have made it if it were not for me.
Yeah. I did this despite all this dead weight of you folks.
Y'all were literally just sitting on the bus adding to my weight that I had to carry. Now, a lot of clerics, because I don't want to offend, I tend to speak more harshly on clerics because I am one, but a lot of clerics out there learn to temper this over time. They still keep the drive. They keep the ability to get so many things done in a very small amount of time, but they're able to soften some of their harsh edges. Either they refrain from communicating, or when they do communicate, they learn to add a little bit of, oh, you're so good at this. Could you help me with this? And they learn the tact, but it doesn't remove their intensity. They may learn to soften it, but the people surrounding them still feel like this pressure. We've got to like perform. And so that can have a significant impact on culture, especially if you have a cleric that hasn't learned to soften those edges. Then it's just like everybody's walking on eggshells all the time.
Well, and I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, but the cholerics that eventually learn to soften, it's because they're seeing they're not getting anywhere.
Right.
Or that bus they wanted to move 10 feet and they were only able to move 2. And now they're going, wait, I could get to the other 8 feet if I would soften this, if I would fluff that. I'm still going to be the one to get us to that 10-foot mark, but I'm smart enough to realize that if I want some of these people to lighten the load a little bit, I need to figure out how to befriend these people.
Yes.
Otherwise, they really know that they are making their own job that much harder.
Yeah. It can oftentimes be a strategic move that they realize, actually, I do need these people, and therefore I've got to learn how to work with people. And so it still can be ultimately, this sounds awful. It's not self-serving, but it's like I can still get fulfillment out of my job if I learn to use these people well. And that sounds bad, but the sanguine has the same goal, which is to be liked and to be loved, and they're going to put on a good show. Why? So that they receive the fulfillment of being liked. So we're all self-serving in some way because of our personality bents. But yeah, the good, powerful clerics have learned how to work with people.
So in this dog's case, what is she to do now? Like, do you have any suggestions? Is it still like, well, we just need to wait out this sanguine, let her, feel shiny and happy again, because sooner than later, everyone will be giving her the accolades and she'll kind of forget that she wasn't received automatically. Hallelujah, you're coming back. Thank God, we are so happy you're here, right? Like, it's probably what she was expecting.
Yeah.
And then she didn't get that, and so now she's, ruffled about that. What would you suggest, this doc do, but then also in general for the rest of us? Like, are there any tips when you have a sanguine or a choleric that are the spheres of influence, and they're off? What are our steps to, how do we move
get them
past
back
that?
on track?
Yeah.
And I actually think they're very different steps for the sanguine and for the cleric. So let's talk about the sanguine first, because this is the most relevant to the situation that we're discussing. So with the sanguine, I think what I would recommend in this particular situation is 2 things. First of all, yes, give it some time. The sanguine normally doesn't stay low forever. It's not in their DNA to just be miserable forever. So give them time. They'll snap back. But we can force some of that bouncing back, because what does the sanguine love? They love relationships, connection, fun. So schedule a team outing. It can be something as simple as, hey, we're going to extend the lunch on Wednesday to 2 hours, and we're going to go out and have some lunch together. We're just going to have fun and enjoy ourselves. Nothing work related, just social.
Would it be we're just doing this, or is it, yay, Amy's back, we're doing this? Are we highlighting Amy?
No. In this case, I wouldn't highlight Amy, because I don't want to send the wrong message to the team, which is, hey, by the way, you can come back after a failed drug test at another program. Like, we don't want to highlight that. I would just be like, hey, you know what? It's been a while since we've had a good lunch together. Let's go hang out and enjoy. And in all honesty, that's all the sanguine needs. They need fun. They need, like, everything's normal. Everything's okay. Look at us. We were able to sit and chat about lunch. And that could be all it takes to put her back on cloud 9. So we could force that by scheduling something like that. And I don't think it has to be a huge investment of, we're all going to get manicures, pedicures. No, just do something as simple as lunch. The sanguine doesn't need much to be full and satisfied. Now, if after that we still see that the sanguine's like a little off or maybe not herself, then it could be that we're incorporating little positive encouragement again. And it doesn't have to be like, oh, Amy, we love you and adore you. And we don't have to keep relating it back to the fact that she was gone and we missed you so much. We can relate it to right here, right now. Amy, I cannot believe that you won over Mr. Grouchy Pants. Like, how did you get him to not cuss us out this time? You've got such skill at that. So it can be all current things that are happening, but we're just being more intentional to compliment her in the wake of this kind of downturn that she had. And so the lunch, I think, should do it. But if it doesn't, then making sure to just really highlight her strengths in the next few weeks. And then she'll be back to normal. It's going to take time, but she'll get back to normal.
Okay, and then what about choleric?
Choleric's harder because, Lord have mercy, don't throw a lunch at that person. Do not throw team building at that person. Honestly, and again, I'm a choleric, so I'm speaking to myself here. Honestly, we're not good in those settings. We're just as intimidating in social, laid-back settings as we are in the job place. So if the culture's off from a choleric being choleric or a grouchy choleric, which is like way worse, almost unbearable. But if that culture is off, the last thing they need is social time to show everybody that they actually are as miserable and cranky as they're portraying at work. So I would avoid that. As a matter of fact, you might even cancel a team building or postpone it until we get the choleric back on track, because it will serve to make things worse and not better. To me, with the choleric, it's going to be one-on-one time with her to go, listen, whew, you've been intense lately, and I know you're intense for all the right reasons. You love this place, you're a hard worker, you're sweating it out all the time. I just love your effort. But I can tell you're frustrated or you're upset or something's going on. I can feel it. Let's talk through what you need. And most of the time, those cholerics are, first of all, surprised because they didn't realize that they were showing that. And then second of all, they normally have very specific things quickly. Like, they don't have to think about what they're annoyed by for very long. They're not, let me think on that and I'll come back to you. They'll be like, yeah, I'm irritated as pissed because Betty can't get insurance verification right, and I'm catching so many mistakes, and I'm done with her. It's normally something like that finally comes up, and then we're having to kind of talk through, okay, what do we do? How can we solve this problem?
So I'm glad you bring up that example, because that's what I was thinking. Like, what if they want somebody fired? Because a lot of times I feel like that's what we tend to hear.
Yep.
And you're not going to fire that person. So then now you've asked choleric, what can I do to help you? She has very clearly said what she expects, and now you're going, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So is that going to irritate her and cranky pants her more? Do I need to maybe explain why I'm not? How do you handle that? Because, yeah, you're right. Maybe Betty is messing it up and it's making more work, but we still need Betty. At least she's doing 40% right. Or maybe she's not doing that, but she's the one who gets there first thing in the morning and she gets the whole office situated, and we've never had anybody who does that as well as she does. I don't know. Like, what do you do if you're not going to fire somebody? Because I feel like that's a lot of times what they're asking.
And it is. Because in their minds, in a choleric's mind, it's like, I have a barrier to being successful. And my barrier is not a bad system. It's not bad training. It's not a bad software. It's a bad person that's in my way. And I'm done with her. And so you're exactly right. When they're bringing up a frustration, it's very seldom like, I really feel like Betty needs some training. Can we focus on that? It's like Betty needs to go and I'm done. And that is a big strategic decision that does not need to be made in that moment. So I do think it takes being very direct with the cleric. The cleric can take your directness and you can say, okay, I hear you. Betty's a problem. We'll talk about Betty in a minute. But you and I both know in order to run this business team appropriately, we need 3 ladies, including you. We cannot, even for a short period of time, we cannot run it on 2 ladies. We've done that before and it's failed in the past. So I'm not willing to take that risk and kick Betty to the curb tomorrow and risk the practice. Not willing to do that. What I am willing to do is invest in Betty, and if, depending upon the situation, if that doctor's okay with still looking for a replacement, if he knows that the chances are real low that Betty's going to get this, and he knows he's ultimately going to be replacing Betty, then he or she could always start a job search. But I would say I'm willing to invest in Betty. Can you, Miss Cleric, find me courses that you think would help Betty? Do you know other insurance coordinators at another office that Betty could be with? Like, whatever you can come up with that you think would support Betty, I'm willing to do that to get you to where Betty's not a barrier. And that cleric will take those marching orders and find something for Betty to get improved upon. So now, the downside is we are going to have a moment with the cleric where we remind her to be patient. Because a cleric wants results the next day. Betty went over to Dr. Jones' office down the street and sat with their insurance coordinator and came back and she's just as crappy today. And you're like, it's been one day. Like, how did you expect her? A cleric expects immediate results. So I think if we're trying to talk to the cleric about giving us a chance with Betty and let us do some training, we also have to have that very direct conversation that says, just wait. Let Betty try. Remember, she's not going to learn it as fast as you. Very few people on this team are going to learn it as fast as you. You're quick. Most people are not quick, and you've got to quit expecting everybody to be quick like you, because they're not. So, yes, I'll send Betty to this training, and I'll send her down the street to Dr. Jones's office, but I'm not going to talk about Betty again for the next 3 months, because we've got to give her some time to actually use those skills. And I need you not to be pissy in the 3 months that we're waiting for Betty. I need you to come back to your normal, I can't even say happy, normal spot. You're neutral.
Less pissy. Yeah.
Yes. So I think that's how, if it's a cleric that's throwing things off, that's probably what we're going to have to do.
I think with you saying that, it's made me think of 2 cleric manager kind of figureheads we've had in the office, and that's exactly the problem. And I remember with one of them, I one time said, okay, well, you were a major part of this hiring. Like, you helped screen, you helped interview, you liked this person. This person's not meeting expectations. But if I fire her tomorrow, and I will do it tomorrow if that's what you're recommending, because I don't work with her if she's driving you that crazy. I need to remind you, though, that it's not like I'm going to be okay with insurance not being verified or reminder calls being done, whatever it is. Like, that's going to come to you, because then that leaves you.
That's right.
So if you're saying I'm so done with her that I will absorb all of those tasks and I would prefer that to dealing with Betty, okay, let me know that, and I'll most likely make that decision.
Yeah.
And every time it's been like, well, because my next comment is, okay, because then that means we start the search again. Mm-hmm. And they already know they were part of the search to begin with. So I'm like, unless you've got a friend that moved into town that you're trying to advocate for to get this position, oh, you don't. Okay, I don't either.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Betty didn't work out, but that means we're starting over. Do you remember that applicant pool list we got? There were 3 people we liked on there. A, we couldn't afford. B, didn't match up to what we needed. And C, we hired Betty. Mm-hmm. So we're going to start that process again, and we may get somebody who can verify the insurance, but now she can't enter the phones. Yeah. Like, everybody has a plus or minus. Everybody has a ceiling. And we picked Betty because she could answer the phones nicely and she looked professional. Yes, she did tell us that she's been working front desk for 8 years. It's odd that she can't verify insurance, but if we can give her a minute, we picked her for a reason.
Yeah.
And those reasons haven't changed. It's not like suddenly, oh, it's September now. Now is when all the good candidates come through. Dummy us. We were looking in July. They're all back from vacay. We should get 15 instead of 3. That ain't happening.
No.
So we picked Betty for a reason. And it's just that reminder of going, okay, I don't have another solution.
Yeah.
So if I'm firing Betty, it's you. You're the solution.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want that either. Okay, well then I guess we've got Betty and we're going to give it, when you said kind of a deadline, like be patient, we kind of have to, I find that with the cholerics, I have to kind of give a deadline-ish so that they can kind of go, it's not just in perpetuity, Kuba's just dodging me now. No, I am looking for certain things.
Yeah.
And this is how long I'm willing to give it.
Yeah.
But make no mistake, at the end of that 3 months, if we determine Betty's out, I'm turning to you to go, how are we replacing Betty?
Mm-hmm.
So I need you to be looking at that too. Do you want to be the one to put out the job post? Are you going to post it on your Facebook? Like, what are we doing? Because I've utilized my resources.
Yep.
I'll have another one.
Yeah.
Oh, and all those Indeed things that you said took you 3 hours last time, do you want to start that now? Or do you want to wait because I'm still not doing that?
Yeah.
Like, I would rather give Betty a chance. If you are not in that same boat, then I need you to come up with some solutions. So, and yeah, they're going to do one of two things. Either going to shut up and give Betty a chance, or they're going to come with that Indeed post and get you some better applicants. Great. I'm fine
Either
with
way,
either
it's a
one
win.
of those.
Yep. And they have control in it. I think that's what's important with a cleric is they like controlling their outcomes, and this gives them the opportunity to do that, which I think is really important. Knowing, like the exact example, I remember that conversation with you and a team member, and you said exactly that. Like, okay, but then that means tomorrow it's all on you. It's 100% your responsibility. And then the cleric backed away. Well, I don't know. She still brings value in this way and that way. Okay. Then we're going to keep her for those reasons then. And so I do think the cleric's got to own the consequences of that control that she gets. And I think that's an important aspect to put in there as well. But man, I can't tell you how often something's off on a team surrounding one of these two personality types.
And both are phenomenal.
Yes.
Phenomenal in so many ways. If y'all go back and listen to the episode about, and it may be in the personality one, about me hiring a bunch of phlegmatics. And like, it was a game changer once I started varying the personality types in the office, because nobody was driving the bus. Like, the phlegmatics were all happy to be on the bus, but we weren't going anywhere. And they were like, okay, well, at least I'm on the bus.
Yeah.
We're not moving. That's okay. I'm on.
But it's a good bus.
Okay, well, I wanted to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing this by myself. And you get either a sanguine or a choleric on your bus. And man, it's
a game changer.
You are moving.
It is.
But if sanguine wants to stop off and get a Slurpee, the whole bus is stopping to get said Slurpee. And so, you know what I mean? Like, so there's plus and minuses to these strong personalities.
Yes.
And it's just trying to figure out how to manage each of them.
Yeah. And knowing that if your culture feels off, to look at these two personality types first and go, hey, Sally's my super sanguine and Celeste is my super choleric. Let me check in with those people first, because if something's off, it very well could be those supercharged personalities. But I agree with you. They're critical. I can't tell you how many times I get on a team that's full of phlegmatics and melancholies. And it's like we're going places, but we might be going at 2 miles per hour. It's very, very slow, very little communication, very little energy. So, yeah.
And a lot more burnout, I think, for the boss. The owner is like, I'm just tired because you're having to be the cheerleader and the focal point and the let's go. And you're like, I was kind of hoping my team would carry me a little bit. Like, I'm doing all the things that I'm doing, and I was kind of hoping to have some help here.
Yeah.
And I'm having to do everything, and I am exhausted.
Yeah.
And then you come to find you don't have enough variety. But then this is where the pendulum swings, and you can get the other side.
You're going to. I think that's a key takeaway, is you're going to experience the upside of these personalities most times. But there's a downside.
And I think we have to be prepared for that and have a game plan of, okay, when my super sanguine's off, social. We're going to add social stuff in and she's going to be fine. When my super choleric's off, okay, I'm going to have a direct conversation with her, figure out what her pain points are, see if there's any of those that we can solve. And if there's not any that we can solve, then I'm setting clear expectations for her that I need her to put that out of her mind and focus on what she can control. And so, yeah, we've got to be prepared for the downside on these personalities.
Thanks for joining the conversation today. We hope that you are comforted in knowing that you are not alone, but we also hope that you're walking away with some really great tips and tricks to try in your practice. We value your feedback, so please take a few moments to rate and review the podcast. Finally, we want to make sure that we're covering the topics that matter to you. So track us down on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and let us know what topics you want us to cover. As always, please know that we are rooting for you today as you manage your dental drama.